What is going on, YouTube, and welcome to a Friday edition of MoBetta Sports. I'm your host, Antonio, aka Mr.MoBetta. And this week, guys, Texas going on the road to renew an old Southwest Conference rivalry, old Big 12 rivalry, a very heated rivalry, one that I am super excited to reignite. Headed to Vietnam, aka Fayetville, Arkansas, take on the Sioux Piggies, man. This is gonna be a really interesting game. A really interesting game. Texas is coming off perhaps their best performance. I don't really even think it's an opinion or really debatable. It was overall their best performance. That 49-17 win over Florida last Saturday here at home in DKR. Everything was really good. Everything was really good on all fronts. Defensive side, offensive side, outside of, I would say, our run defense. The run defense is going to need some work. We'll touch on that a little bit later. But collectively, Quinn had his absolute best game by far. 19 of 27, 333 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jared Gibson had over 100 yards rushing. Jaden Blue had over 100 all-purpose yards. A touchdown in there as well. So, and the defense coming off their third straight 3+ turnover game, right? So, all in all, the team looks phenomenal, and they looked phenomenal last week against Florida. Now, the trick is going to be, or I guess the question is going to be, is that same team going to show up tomorrow in a very hostile environment against an Arkansas team that has been embarrassed a couple of times as of late? They do have a huge win on their resume against a number 4 ranked Tennessee. They beat Tennessee 19-14. Then they go into their bye week and come off their bye week and absolutely get smacked by LSU. I believe that game was 34-10. They go on next week to beat the daylights out of Mississippi State before getting steamrolled by Ole Miss, a 63-20 something odd game. I can't remember the exact score. It was like 23-24 maybe. But they got their absolute asses kicked by Ole Miss. And to be quite honest with you, I think Texas has not only the capability, but even better players at all skill positions on the offensive front to be able to do what Ole Miss did in the passing game. And not only that, but we have a trio of very talented running backs who make the offense so dynamic in Jared Gibson, Quintravion Wisner, and Jaden Blue. We have an embarrassment of riches. That's the only way you can say it on both sides of the ball. I don't see moving the ball and scoring points on this Arkansas defense as going to be much of an issue. So Arkansas, one thing that they are not good at defensively is limiting explosive plays, and that really came back to bite them in the Ole Miss game. But you saw it in flashes in several games throughout the season. Their offense is very good at hitting explosive plays, but they can't get out of their own way. They commit way too many turnovers. Taylor Green, quarterback for Arkansas, he's very good. He's a very dynamic quarterback. He can run. He can throw. He's 6'6", about 220 pounds, 230 pounds. He can extend plays. I think this is going to be overall the most dynamic quarterback that Texas will have played to this point in the season. The offense goes as Taylor Green goes, right? They have a very good wide receiver in Armstrong, perhaps one of the better wide receivers throughout the country, to be quite honest with you. They have some really explosive playmakers. One thing that Arkansas is going to do, and one thing that I touched on earlier, is they are going to run the football. This is a run-heavy offense. They are more than happy to hand the ball off 40 to 45 times a game. And they do that quite often. As a matter of fact, the more times they run the ball, generally the better they do. And that's no disrespect to Taylor Green, but in the type of offensive system that they run, he is not really supposed to be the pivotal factor in the sense that they don't want to run him too much. He's not very good in the intermediate and short passing game, which is why a lot of times they get explosive plays, but they're so reliant on explosive plays that they stall drives. Again, turnovers are committed way too often. So, as I think they have a very talented team. Arkansas is by no means a slouch team. They definitely can come in and surprise you. And Texas's run defense is probably the worst part about the team as a whole, right? I think in the Florida game last week, we kind of saw that. Florida attempted 41 rushing attempts for over 200 yards rushing, right? That's not good. That is not good. They averaged over 4.5 yards per carry. I believe it ended at 4.8 yards per carry is what they had. So when you have a team like Arkansas who comes in, who's perfectly willing to run the ball 35 to 40 times a game, and quite honestly, since we know they do better when they are when they're able to run the ball more often than not, we can expect to see Arkansas dialing up a lot of run plays, misdirections, triple options, load options, jet sweep motions, all these kind of things. We're going to be expecting that, because that is the only way that Arkansas can really take advantage of Texas's defense per se. They're not going to be able to beat them over the top. The secondary is so good and so disciplined and honestly so consistent that I don't see throwing the ball deep as a way for them to move the ball. I just don't think it's going to happen. So Arkansas is going to need to win the game at the line of scrimmage and in the run game. I think Texas is going to answer the call. Listen, this is a team who's still got players on it, i.e. David Benda, Barron Sorrell, who went into Arkansas the last time in 2019, 2020, something like that, and got absolutely embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed, 41-20. A number 15 ranked Texas went into Fayetteville and got absolutely embarrassed. It really wasn't even as close as 41 or 40-21, whatever it was, 41-20. It wasn't even that close. The game was embarrassingly bad, and we were made to look like we just got bullied, and not even like made to look like we got bullied. We did. It got absolutely bullied. They ran for over 300 yards on us. So, not to say that they're going to go, back to that particular game and take the script out of that game, but knowing what you saw last week against Florida, knowing what you saw against Georgia got three touchdowns on the ground, I believe. Knowing that the worst teams have done the best when they've been able to establish the run against Texas, I definitely see that as going to be the focal point for Arkansas's offense. So it's just going to be up to us to be disciplined. The Texas defense, linebackers especially, they have to be disciplined in their run fits. We can't have multiple players in single gaps. Our safeties are going to have to be able to come down and fit the run well. And I think that we'll be able to do that. Not to say that it's not going to be a tough game. I think it will be a tough game at first. Maybe for the first quarter and a half, even the first half. But I think once Texas's depth and talent start to just wear on Arkansas offensively and defensively, I think that Texas is just going to be too much for them. I don't really see this being a super close game. Not saying that it couldn't be. I could see it being something like 34-20, maybe even a little bit better than that. But I think that Texas is really starting to click, not only defensively, but especially offensively. I think we're really starting to click. Things are starting to gel, move a little bit slower for Quinn. And once he's able to really get the deep ball incorporated like we saw last week, the offense is so damn explosive. Like, you can't have an answer for everything. And so I think as long as we come in and we execute the game plan like we did last week, this should be, for lack of better words, this should be an ass whooping. I wouldn't be surprised to see it be another 49-20, 49-14 type of game. I could see Arkansas putting up some points maybe in trash time. So maybe you give them 24-27. I doubt it. I doubt they get up that much. I think the Texas defense plays with a lot of pride, a lot of swagger, and there's no way they're just gonna give up 20 plus. You know what I'm saying? So if Arkansas is going to score that much, they're gonna have to really, really, really fight for it. And I just don't really think they're gonna have what it takes. And yeah, so I'm not really gonna hold y'all too much. That's my opinion. I think that Arkansas probably keeps it a little bit closer than we would like at first, but once Texas gets rolling, the offense gets rolling. Once Arkansas is put in pass first situations and the game starts kind of getting out of hand, I think Texas rolls. I think Texas rolls. I think we see another 40-point game. Say 41-14. 41-14. I feel like that'd be a 41-14, 41-17, something like that, in that range. Would not surprise me at all. So, yep, we'll see, man. Less than 24 hours away. We are less than 24 hours away. No matter what, it is going to be a great environment. Again, the blood runs deep. The hate runs deep between Arkansas and Texas. The great saying is Arkansas fans hate Texas more than they hate themselves. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it holds true. Either way, it's going to be great to see this rivalry renewed. And yeah, we'll enjoy the game, man. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor. Consider hitting that subscribe button. At least do me the favor of hitting the like button and turn on those notification bells so you never miss anything that we have coming for you. Because remember, no matter where you look, there's no better place than MoBetta Sports for your latest Texas football takes. I'm your host, Antonio, a.k.a. Mr.MoBetta, and I am out. Peace and hook 'em.